Hello, welcome back for today's global and continental topics about the border conflicts, political strategy, lesson from the advanced country to the African continents in 21st century. So we'll see from USA. The border conflict experience was solved by internal state disputes were settled constitutionally. Stable international borders with neighbors. Stable border program. So as a nation building strategy was a strong federal constitution, national identity, rule of law, infrastructure, and economic integration. The outcome was stable democracy and economic growth for Africa can be strengthened constitutional institution. National unity. National unity should be ensured with similar with the USA, and also all provinces and states has their own rights, power, and also their limitation, and also the communication programs with the central governances and peaceful border management. All of the states has peaceful management programs. This will be a good opportunity for African countries. Next, the European Union also has experienced uh, centuries of border war. For example, World War One and World War Two. So, as a nation building strategy was regional integration, free trade, common institutions, and peaceful dispute resolution. Any dispute about the economic border and also any of political programs will be solved by the peaceful way. So, the outcome was peace among member cities. Peace has been ensured, and also economic cooperation also looking. So Africa can learn this all, promote regional integration through the trade, democracy, and economic cooperation. In addition, with the peaceful border management programs and solving and also resolution power is also a critical lesson for Africa from European Union. So the resolution can be equipped and also capable by the advanced technologies like space technology applications for all of the land and also the border demarcation and also the management programs with the digital and also human control and also border marking from one province another province in one nation another nation in one even one continent to another continent. So this application needs to be the investments of infrastructures and also skilled human power. In order to ensure this one, the friendship and collaboration is the first leadership program for African leaders and also continents. What about the China? This experience by resolved many border disputes through negotiations, negotiations while maintaining a strong central authority. Look into this. This from the China, we will learn how to establish the central authority from all of the states and the nations. Whatever the number of population, whatever the area space of the continent or the country or the nations, whatever the resources available, how to establish the central strong government, how to make peace trustable communication with all of the states. This is a negotiable experience is looking from there. So as a strategy, strong central government was the first strategy. Africa should learn this one. Strong central government establishment is the first priority. Infrastructure development after that one. Because there is a peaceful continent or as a country, then directly they move to infrastructure development. Then poverty reduction and long-term planning program is a known one. So rapid economic development and also national coherence is ensured in China, in addition with Japanese and Koreas. So Africa can prioritize development, infrastructure, negotiation, settlement of border disputes. Make underline negotiation learning from the Chinese. About Russia, Russia border experiencing disputes with the neighboring states and also regional conflicts has affected stability, but strong central states. Similar lesson with China and the USA in Europe, and also emphasize on national security. So Africa should ensure the national security. No need to have any proxy war program with one another country in order to dominate one area to another area, one group to another group. No need to have it. In order to make this stable, the leaders must be stable and trustable authority should be created and protected. Look into the Vladimir Putin like that. We have to be cultivated, protect, and also come into the stage and avoid Africa countries should learn avoid prolonged border conflicts that hinder development. This is our homework: solving, avoiding, which needs to have, as we know, advanced now technologies. So we have to be apply and use this one. Prioritize democracy and regional peace. Regional peace must be a critical program for African continent. What about the Korea? The Korea Peninsula remains divided with the ongoing tension along with the demilitarized zone. You know, demilitarization is also one program experience. But as a strategy, economic modernization focused on the civilization of human with technology, innovation, education, and also strong institutional and economical cooperation and strong military and security capability. This is one of the critical program. So the Southern Korea achieved remarkable economic growth, dispute security challenges. So they have already shown this one. So their strong skill was trustable communication with the advanced countries directly after World War II. They are just directly trustable friendship with the Western, even China, Japan, all of them. So Africa can invest in education. Look into this. How education has impact on the border solution. Technology, strong institutions. Look into this. We can strong institutional infrastructure expand from all of the countries while maintaining a peaceful conflict management. We have to listen to this one. What about Africa recommended approaches? Many borders were inherited from the colonial era, like a Berlin Conference, but not only that. From the past ancestors, one power defeated by another one has its own border issue. So this creating dispute in some, not in some, all of the continent has its own issue. So the first criteria and also priority was solving this border issue before any blah blah programs. You know. So as a strategy, respect existing borders, respect and accept it, strengthen regional cooperation, one another cooperation in terms of all of the development programs, improve governance, and promote inclusive development. Inclusive, no need to be the first and the second regional program. So in terms of their language, culture, many, power, skin, in terms of no need to be categorizing one another. Just equitable and inclusive development is the solution. So outcomes, greater stability will ensure, economic integration and also sustainable nation building will be ensured. So Africa can resolve disputes peacefully, strengthen institution, encouraging regional integration, focus on development rather than territorial conflicts. Still we are on the territorial conflict. So if there is still conflict with the border, how we can talk about the development, about civilization, about diplomacy, about infrastructure, about economy, about health, about tourism, about human rights, how it is only on my hand the opportunity is already destroyed or burning by our own hands. So our first, as human being, as in 21st century, there is ample amount of diplomatic opportunity and also access of advanced technologies. We have to resolve the border programs. So as a lesson, respecting existing borders, which can minimize territorial conflict and also upon international agreements, strengthen the institution also, which can build effective government independence, courts, and also accountable public institution can be ensured, promote regional integration by expanding trade, infrastructure, cooperation through regional organization. So invest in human development. This is the critical one, in this planet, especially in 20 and 21st century. Even from the previous centuries, one country, one continent is different from the other one is because of human brain. Right, in 21st century, human brain is supported by artificial intelligence, robotics, automated machines. So we have to be integrating and also serve it as coupling and also creating the synergistic effect for improved education, healthcare, technology, job creation, and also peaceful diplomatic cooperation with the province, nations, continental, and also international one. Resolve dispute peacefully. Peaceful dispute resolution skill needs to be cultivated, which will can also prepare through education, through diplomatic training, through international cooperation can resolve it. So which uses negotiation, mediation, international legal mechanisms instead of armed conflicts. The winners are diplomats, like advanced countries. So build inclusive national identity, foster unity across ethics, religious, regional differences, language, and so forth. So with this, the experience of this Western or advanced countries that long-term nation building is generally more successful when countries emphasize on strong institution, economic development, peaceful dispute resolution, and also regional cooperation rather than pursuing territorial conflicts. For many African countries, prioritizing these areas can support stability and also sustainable development while respecting international recognizing border. So this is our homework of each and every citizens, institutions, provinces, and nations, countries, and also all of the continents. This is the first priority before we talking about another one. Our aim of developmental program must be aligning and also compatible with resolving of border issue. The next, everything will be seen. So we can look European amazing countries, how much their border is just marking one another, and how was their results, how much they invest on it, how many technologies, how many skilled manpowers, how many times they just overposed on this infrastructure. So for the next generation, the future is now. We have to invest on it. Zero border policy investment. What we call it as investment. God bless Africa and God bless the world. See you soon. Thank you very much.